The Washington Post is facing a wave of public and internal reaction after announcing layoffs at the end of this week in the newsroom and the business side employees. All folks are basically in the crosshairs. No one is safe at this point. Cuts are part of a broader effort to reduce costs as the paper continues to deal with declining digital subscriptions and advertising revenue, which all papers are dealing with. News of the layoffs spread quickly, prompting responses from journalists, readers, and media observers across social media all over from, let's say, both sides, if you will. Current and former Post journalists have expressed concerns that the layoffs could weaken the paper's reporting capacity and morale. Some staff members describe the cuts as painful, but not surprising given the industry-wide struggles that are out there right now. Others warn that fewer reporters and editors could make it harder for the Post to compete with rival outlets and maintain its reputation for deep investigative journalism. Many readers are responding to online by saying that they fear the layoffs will affect the quality and the breadth of coverage in the paper that people actually rely on. Some subscribers said they are conflicted, wanting to support the Post, but still worried about paying for a product with fewer resources behind it. Others pointed out that the layoffs are another sign of instability in legal legacy media itself, even at well-known national outlets like the Post. So the Post leadership said the layoffs are necessary to stabilize the companies financially. You may have heard that before from many companies who have to deal with layoffs that they may not want to do, or at least the people that are speaking about them may not want to talk about, but are inevitable. Executives noted that changes in reader habits, also increased competition, and rising costs have forced difficult decisions such as these. Media analysts say the Post situation mirrors challenges across the industry. Everyone's seeing them, where every major news organizations are shrinking after years of growth that was driven by digital subscriptions. There seemed to be a big need for more people to cover more digital things. The problem is, what came with some more eyeballs did not come with much more money. The reaction to the Post layoff fits into the larger conversation about the future of journalism. Newsrooms across the country have cut staff in recent years, raising concerns with fewer local and national watchdogs who keep an eye on those guys, if you will. Media experts warn that repeated layoffs can create a cycle where reduced coverage leads to fewer subscribers, putting more pressure on already struggling outlets as they are. Now, supporters of the actual decision to get rid of people at the Post are arguing that the layoffs may help the Post, continue to control costs and remain financially viable for a longer period of time in a difficult media market. A leaner operation could actually allow the paper to focus its resources on strongest coverage news and get more out of what it can in the future. The problem is, cutting staff risks weakening journalism in general. And at a time when public trust and accountability is pretty much low, but crucial, this is a big deal. Layoffs may also hurt morale, reduce investigative depth, and accelerate the broader decline of newsroom capacity nationwide. As a person who made their name in time and made a good bit of money, not much money, in news, radio news specifically, I mourn the loss of every single source, every single gig, every place that goes along. And not like I had the talent or the time to actually go to a place like the Post where the talent at the time is very, very high. This is one less gig that I have a chance to get to because there are less gigs in general. All the people being laid off here, about 300 people from the Post, need to find new jobs doing something else. And as I know from just general radio, there's only so many jobs in real estate you can go to from your other job. So there's that. There's also the long brewing issues with inside the Post. Number one, owned by Jeff Bezos and him sort of flip-flopping on his ability to sort of needle Donald Trump and sort of fall in line with Donald Trump. And the news that basically had us see this coming, where they killed the sports coverage for the Olympics, killed the team going to the Olympics coverage of sports directly for the Post, which led to a lot of cuts to the sports pages in the Post. And for people who live in the Washington, D.C. metro area, with all the sports going on in that area, the Post was essentially the place to find that information. Now they're just cutting costs, chopping people all over the place to save money in general. And we'll see if the Post will actually survive as a paper. Obviously, paper is not what's going to make it survive, but survive as an institution where people actually can go to, turn to news, and get good stuff. What do you think about this story, particularly the loss of the Post. Some people think it's just way too crazy liberal, and they're good about that. But what do you think about the loss of journalism, the loss of another outlet, the loss of another outreach for information to get out there, even if you don't really like the slant of the news given here? Let us know in the comments.